Make 15% more concrete from every bag. The Gardener is brought to you by PPC.
Water features form an integral part of everyone's garden, and you must have one in there. However, so many people are worried about things. Do I have to have a tap running there? Am I going to lose water? What about the frogs? And how difficult is it? Well, if you're worried about all those things, today we're going to put you at ease. Hi, I'm Tanya Visser, editor of The Gardener magazine, and welcome to a brand new episode of The Gardener. Coming up in today's episode, we're going to show you some great plants that you can use in a deep shaded area, just like we've got. Garth and I show you how to make your very own water feature from scratch. After that, we're going to show you how to install the water feature. And finally, we plant it up, put it all together, and hey presto, I know that there's going to be a beautiful water feature at the end of the show. Novice gardeners always ask me the question, why should I bother putting a water feature in? Oh, it's going to be so much of a headache and so many problems to worry about. But folks, the positives far outweigh any negatives that you could ever think about. Here are some of them. They add that extra sound, that sound of running water. You just can't beat it. Immediately it relaxes you and takes you to a different place. It adds a new dimension into your garden. You've got a small garden, putting it at the end of a path makes it seem deeper and gives you more depth. And of course, it's the adventure and the intrigue by putting in a water feature. You can just add that extra pizzazz. And of course, one of the most important factors of water features is that they attract wildlife. Often standing in my kitchen, looking out onto my water features, the birds are there early in the morning, sitting on the edge of the terracotta pot, having a little bath, getting a few sips of water, and that has to be the best part of having them in your garden. There are many different styles of water feature that you can choose from today. And you know what, when I think about 20 years ago, when I was a mere seedling in the gardening industry, wow, we were so limited. But today, you can literally walk into a garden centre, choose your water feature, bang it into your car, and that afternoon you'll be sitting having a good drink next to your bubbling water feature. And it's as simple as that. Of course, those are the contained ones where you literally buy the sump, the pot, or whatever it is where the water is going to be bubbling through, or even if it's just a pump where the water can then just sprout out of. There are far more intricate water features, ones that require a hell of a lot more work. That's where you've got to dig the hole. You either then line it with the waterproofing material, and then you put your pump in, making sure that everything's sealed. And further from that, you could add a beautiful terracotta pot in, or even something glazed, which would then act as the medium from where the water goes through. Garth and I, while walking around the garden, found the perfect little spot for a water feature. It's under the shade, so it's very important to choose plants that will do well in this low light, plus be able to compete with the tree roots. It's always fun when you're creating a new section in a garden because you can really start from the base up and choose your plants wisely. For around my water feature, I've gone with some really cool textures, remembering that this is in full deep shade. So these plants need to be able to enjoy living right under the canopy of some beautiful trees. Number one, I've got this amazing, amazing fern. This is called the leatherleaf fern. Now, if any of you have ever been in hospital or whatever, anywhere where you get flowers, maybe even for your birthday. Let's think about more positives. I'll guarantee you that you will always find one or two of these ferns inside one of your arrangements. It's either called the leatherleaf fern or the 7-day fern. Remora is its botanical name, and it loves growing in the deep shade. Doesn't get much taller than this, but literally spreads out, sends out these little roots, and out they go. Beautiful if you're wanting to soften textures. Another awesome fern is this guy over here. He's called Phlebodium aureum. Gorgeous fern, beautiful big leaves, and you can see it's almost silver. Against this leather leaf, I mean, look at those textures. That really is something spectacular. A plant that not many people know and use, but strongly recommended, is this guy over here. It's called Heuchera. Now, Heuchera is a fantastic fantastic plant. Don't grow it right on the coast. It doesn't like the humidity, but certainly in colder climates where you get low temperatures, it is fantastic. Does die down, comes back again in the spring, and has these gorgeous colored leaves right through into the autumn and full summer. Look at this texture. Fantastic. This low against the water feature, and you also get a beautiful red variety of this. For a bit of color, I'm putting in some New Guinean patience. White is always great in dark areas because white just lifts it. So if you're wanting to add a bit of sparkle, a little bit of color, think about New Guinean patience. Remember, you also get an impatiens that's called the sun patience. Same little guy like this, except it will grow in the full sun. New Guinean patience like this guy prefers to be in semi-shade or even in dark shade. Of course, I couldn't have a shade garden without some beautiful clivias. Clivias love the shade. Indigenous to KwaZulu-Natal, right up the northern belt and also into Mpumalanga, they love tropical areas. You can even grow them where you get a few degrees of frost or a few low temperatures, they will still do. Beautiful clusters of orange flowers. Remember, when we have a change of season, keep an eye out for that lily borer that sometimes gets into them. It's important that you spray. If you don't, that little caterpillar goes all the way down right into the core of the plant and will kill your clivia. And finally, for a bit of height in the background, I'm going with this wonderful indigenous Machiabella. Gets nice and tall, up to 1.5 meters, as wide, and gets these wonderful little bell-shaped flowers, which are pale white, almost going into a lilac. You can't actually tell if it's white or slightly lilac. This is going to be my smorgasbord. It's going to look stunning around my water feature. I can't wait to put them in. Coming up next, Garth and I are going to show you how to make your very own water feature, something that you're not going to find anywhere.